In the third part of this four-part series, we spoke with Arup to learn about the innovations in sustainable building and materials that we can expect to see in the near future.
The most exciting developments that are happening at the moment in the built environment when it comes to sustainability is the innovations when it comes to materials. So more and more bio-based materials or advanced materials are coming available in the built environment, and by implementing them into our solutions is an exciting opportunity for us as designers.
When we look deeper into materials, we've seen that timber has recently become the most talked about innovation in sustainable construction. Why is that?
The reason, I think, is that the IPCC has stated that reforestation is one of the most effective means to mitigate climate change. Now, if we think about planting woods, it's also sensible to think about, hey, what are we going to do with all this timber that's being produced? And at the moment, we're already seeing that there's an overcapacity of sustainably produced timber. And to use this timber in our built environment, and therefore reframe this built environment as a potential carbon sink, is a very sensible thing to do. So, for example, there's now different startup companies that are starting to looking at these mass timber panels, but not using them as mass timber anymore, but making lattice structures out of them, and by filling them in with, for example, isolation material, and therefore improving the properties of the material itself, of the component itself. Another innovation is like bio-based aggregates for concrete or different types of cement. One example is like hempcrete. So we use hemp, which is a material which grows very quickly, much quicker than timber. If we start adding that to our concrete mixture as a coarse aggregate, we could really improve the sustainability performance of the concrete as a material. When it comes to steel, at the moment what we do when a steel building is being demolished, we take the steel, we put it into a melter, and we make new steel out of it. But more and more you see initiatives that we say, well, do we really have to remelt the steel, or could we reuse the steel skeleton as a donor structure, which is obviously much more sustainable than to put it back in the kiln.
Coming up next, we sit down with 4x Prefab to discuss the importance of collaboration within the concrete industry and what initiatives they are taking to make concrete more sustainable.
It's really the mixture of the concrete that makes it sustainable, and what we changed in the mixture is to use less cement and replace it by another binder.